So today I'm doing the SWU hike here in central South Carolina. It's one of my favorite trails in the upstate. It's usually very clean, not a whole lot of people here. Right now I have one guy just pulled up and took off flying down the trail, so hopefully I don't catch up to him. Usually takes about 40-ish minutes to complete, but there's also a bunch of branching out trails, so let's see how it goes. Slid a little bit there. See, that was the first fork. One thing about South Carolina, there's always a ton of tree roots and rocks because of all the rains we get. My All Trails keeps blaring at me because it thinks I'm going the wrong direction. I probably am. It's a gorgeous day. I think it's in the 80s, nice and shaded. Just a few inclines to get a little rough, but nothing too terrible. Nothing like the Paris Mountain Trail in Greenville. And I officially have no idea where I am. Probably need to go back. And I passed it. Lincoln, you'll miss it. There it is. Right, what goes up must come down, what goes down must come up. Not too bad. Here we go, back on trail. Take a left here. As you can see, the conditions are really nice on this trail. Very well maintained, with the exception of tree roots, but again, not a lot you can do about that in South Carolina. If I'm not mistaken, this gravel is new. It used to be muddy there. Almost hit a tree. Downhill. Love it. Not a lot of jumps on this trail, sadly. Yes, sir. Squirrel. Here we go, downhill, baby. Whew. Tire slide, but we good. So my bike is the Polygon D7 2022 model with the Nobby Nic tires. Everything else, the Nobby Nics I converted to tubeless. With the exception of that, everything's factory. It's been a great bike. Highly recommended. I think on Bikes Online you can get on sale sometimes for about 1,200 bucks. Well worth it. This is my first full extension or full suspension mountain bike, and I couldn't be happier with it, especially for the price. I'll unlock my phone. All right, here we go. So I'm now what is this? There it is, 1.78 miles in. Rough guesstimate, about 1/4 the way done, maybe less. I don't know how clear this video is, but you can see straight through at the twists and turns of the trail down that way. Love this trail. So while I'm going down this easy part, one other trail that I highly recommend, it's about a 2-hour drive from here. It's near McCormick. It's called the FATS Trail System, or FATS Trail System. Somebody on the Polygon Facebook group recommended it to me, and it is awesome. I've only been once, and it was pouring down rain right as I got there, but I still managed to get around what's called the Great Wall Loop. So it ended up being, I want to say, about an 8 or 9 mile bike ride, which is very disappointing because apparently there's 30 miles of trail. And it's some of the best in the upstate, some of the best on the East Coast, supposedly. So I would have gone today, but again, it's a 2-hour drive. And my son wants to see the new Across the Spider-Verse movie. So I compromised and came to a closer trail. On all trails, it says that this is a moderately difficult trail. I don't know that I agree with that. It's not really that difficult. The only thing that's difficult about it is some of the inclines. but even they aren't that bad. So I'm not in the best shape. 40 years old, 5'7", and I weigh about 215 pounds. Good bit of muscle, but a good bit of fat too. So say I'm a pretty good authority on if something's difficult or not. And I don't think it's that bad. When I first started mountain biking, which was around January, it's the first time I rode this trail, I admit there were times where I had to get off and walk up the hills. But I was still getting my bearings on mountain biking. Mountain biking, there's a lot of special ways that you accomplish things that I didn't know yet. For instance, when you're going uphill, obviously at the bottom of the hill, not while you're in it, while you're at the bottom of the hill about to go up, it's good to go ahead and get that gear to a comfortable level. That way, as you're going up the hill, maybe 1 or 2 adjustments, but you're really already there. Number 2, you don't want to lean back. I didn't know this, and there were times where I'd be going up a hill and my front tire would come off the ground. Very embarrassing, especially if someone was watching me. I always just said, you know, I'm new, I'm learning. I thought it was because I was overweight, which yes, that is part of it, but the trick is lean forward. If it's an especially steep hill, I recommend standing and pedaling. Standing and pedaling with the majority of your weight shifted above the handlebar. Seems to work great for me. But again, my biggest problem is probably that I just need to lose some weight. This is a medium-sized D7. As I said, I'm 5'7", so large would have been a bit too much for me. So medium's just right. Another important thing about biking in South Carolina is the routes and how you go over the routes, especially when it's wet conditions. And sometimes even if it's dry, but especially wet, if you're going over a tree trunk, or a tree root, I mean, the key is to move your weight forward or backwards as you're going over the tree trunk, the roots, because if your weight is on the wheel as it goes over the root and it's moist, it's probably going to slip. I actually ran into a tree at the Fats Trail System doing that. I was really lucky, honestly. So again, just displace your weight as you're going over the route and try to go around it if you can. Sometimes that's impossible. Or if you're really good, jump over it. I'm not good enough to do that yet. Although, I have to give myself props. I half-ass jumped over a, probably 8-inch in diameter fallen tree on one of my recent trails. Pretty proud about that. Not much of an accomplishment, but something. Here we go with the uphill. Reset. I'm now 2.76 miles into the trail, and as you can see, I haven't had to stop once, which is saying a lot for a South Carolina trail. Sadly, a lot of them are not amazingly maintained. Some of them are also horse trails, which can lead to unmentionables in the middle of your trail. And then a lot of them have a ton of fallen debris, or just straight up gigantic muddy parts. This one, not so much. It's great. Moderately challenging. I suppose for a beginner it could be. Like I said, when I started, I had to walk some of it. So, how about strengthening your legs, your lungs, good and strong. Knowing how to navigate those up hills like this. I don't know if you heard, but I clicked as soon as I got to the bottom of it. I already had it in gear, so I don't have to do it again. One problem I've had since I started mountain biking, I use All Trails for my GPS and pay a yearly subscription. I think it's like 20 or 30 a year. It's not much. Very much worth it. One complaint I have though, if you sweat on the screen, it messes it up. I've actually looked down before and it'll be paused, and I will have gone miles. It wouldn't have been tracked. I know. How awful, right? Oh God. I can't stop them. Oh fuck. Oh. Okay, so. The bad thing is, I think I almost made it to the top. Oh God. I catch my breath. Get going again.